Good evening everybody, this is Hairy Muppet going for another cast. This is a Platinum game. On the bottom left we have our Zerg player Biohazard, and on the top right we have our Terran player ADMNorthoc. And it looks like they're being very polite with the hello and the good luck, have fun and the smiley face. And of course that's not going to last forever, but it's always nice to see people being very polite at the start of the game. So let's have a look around at the map. I don't believe I've cast this one before. It's got a side ramp off to a expansion which has a sort of closed in thing. I believe I have cast this map again, and I wish I hadn't, because I'm starting to realise what most commentators probably know very well, is that for a caster the first 5 minutes of the game are the hardest, because there's just simply nothing to talk about. We could, what we're going to do here is, Zerg is already at 14. I was going to comment on his ability to get the drones out exactly after the second Overlord is being built, but he's already passed that, and it does look like he's actually going for a heavy worker count. He's at 15 at the moment, so he really needs to put down a structure here. Does this one count as number 16? No, it's number 15. So there goes the hatchery. So that was pretty well timed for the Zerg player, and his Overlord is actually keeping watch over there. I don't know if that's to scout out a probe, or if he's just no, not probe, SCV. We're facing a Terran player here in this game, and there we go. There's the Terran player with an SCV chasing the drone, who has taken exactly 1 hit point, but he's going to heal that back up. He's got 5 damage with 1.5 weapon speed. The SCV has 5 damage with 1.5 weapon speed. So I assumed the SCV would, I don't know, the Zerg would regen health, but the SCV wouldn't, but it's got an extra 5 points. So if we knew the exact rate that the Zerg regenerated its health, then I suppose we could probably tell which one of us will survive the fight. But I have a feeling that it's set out to ensure that the fight is completely even. And what is looks like 2 drones versus, well, 3 drones there, sorry, versus an SCV. Not going to be very good for the SCV, but we do have a Reaper coming in. Once again built off the barracks. It doesn't need a tech lab anymore. The Overlord is going to spot it straight away. He's got a Queen coming up, and he's just started a second Queen. And Queen's of course an excellent counter to the Reapers. The Reapers do almost no damage versus the Queen, and the Queens do quite a fair bit of damage to the Reapers, but they're not going to get out in time. The Reaper needs to get in there, start taking out some drones. He should... excuse me 1 second. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. There was a slight disturbance at my front door, but just some guy delivering some stuff for me, so let's get back into it and we'll see how this Reaper's doing. And the answer is not very good. I think he may have got a couple of kills, but basically he got cornered in by those drones, and that wasn't very smart of him. So we will see how the second Reaper does though, although I think the Queens are going to me out, so he's going to get pushed away fairly easily. Although it would be hilarious if he gets this tumor, and he does. So that's just the Reaper giving the good old middle finger to the Queen, and then just running right past him. And he might be able to get a few kills here. It's going to be very hard to focus on the same drone, and I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to take some health off, but really to get some solid drone kills there, he needs about at least 2 Reapers, preferably 3. I think with 3 they may kill a drone in 1 shot. I can't be certain. He's going to get some Zerglings now, and with speed they will do a fairly good job of chasing the Zealots away. I think the sorry, not the Zealots, the Reapers. And they are... I don't think he should be stopping to shoot. I think he should just be running here, because he is not going to be able to run and shoot and still keep ahead of the Zerglings there. So he's still going for Reapers, but he'll have to switch that up very soon. However, he has done a bit of pressure to move into his expansion here, so Zerg is a little bit scared. He's waiting for more Reapers at the moment. He is getting a Baneling's nest, so he is well equipped to come out here and start destroying some buildings. But it looks like the Terran player is going to try and wall this off here, which of course is not going to work too well against the Banelings, but it's better than nothing. And it will at least stop these Zerglings from running in if he managed to get the wall completed, which it doesn't look like he's going to. There's a wall complete up here, but the supply depot is down. If the Zerg can get in there just in time. He doesn't know it's down, but it's up now, so this poor SCV is trapped outside. It's going to be let back in. So it's just in time. The Zerg should maybe have at least scouted up there straight away to see if that was open. Of course, he could mostly expect there to be Marines waiting behind there to shoot him, but he would be mistaken in this case. So he's not going to really do too much damage. 2 supply depots down, and he forced the command center to lift off. Now, if he got some Banelings in here, took out one of these supply depots, then I think he could do quite a lot of damage. And that looks like exactly what he's doing. He's got 4 Banelings coming up. He's got 10 more Zerglings on the way, so I think he can go down, he can bust these down, and he can do quite a lot of damage here. The Terran is going to get a nice wall off here. He's got the Marines there. Look at that, beautiful hits by the Banelings. He managed to take out both those supply depots, half built, and the Marines. So the Zerg needs to go in there now. He wasn't able to kill much, but I thought maybe he could run in there, kill off this Marine. However, the siege tank up there, the Zerg doesn't know it's there, but he will know that it's going to be there when he starts moving these Banelings in. He doesn't have Baneling speed, I don't believe. But, so these Banelings are going to get quite manhandled by this tank. And we'll see on the production tab, doesn't look like there's another tank coming up. You really could use a couple more because this Zerg army is getting quite scary. The Banelings need to start breaking this wall, because this wall, once they get past that, they can run in here, take out all those SCVs, and the Terran would be in a lot of trouble. But he's not going to get that at this point. His Zerg are going to be taken out by this siege tank. He is stopping the mining at this base, but I'm not sure if the Terran is really worried right now. He's still undermining the main base, so these SCVs could easily go back to the previous one. However, the Terran seems dead set on creating a wall here and providing a safe place for this this command center to mine. However, I think with Banelings on the field, I think he's fighting a lost battle here. Although he does eventually need to get it up. He's yeah, I'm not sure about this, but it seems like the Zerg is moving out of the Baneling tech. He's going on to something new. He's got his lair up. He's got both Evo chambers up, and he's going for a Roach Hydra build by the looks of his upgrades. So he's hoping maybe for a mid-game build where he can start to put 2-2 or maybe even 3-3 upgrades to good use, and just go in there and start wiping him out. And this isn't a bad build versus the siege tanks. It's not the best build though. Siege tanks can absolutely just massacre the Hydralisks if they target them instead of the Roaches. But overall, it's not a bad build versus the Terran. It depends a lot upon his creep spread as well. If he's got a lot of creep spread and he pulls the Terran in to engage him on creep, then the Zerg will do fairly well, especially if he gets Baneling speed, which he's getting that now, and he can get the Banelings in to take out the Marine Marauders. Then no amount of siege tanks is going to stop the Roach Hydra army from just charging in and decimating the tanks. Now he's double expanding here. He's got this one coming up. He's got this one coming up though, so that's a pretty ballsy move. But the Terran is very defensively minded at the moment. He hasn't got a massive army either. He's got 4 tanks, which is some pretty good hitting power. but hasn't got that many Marines. He doesn't have any Marauder support. He doesn't have any medevac support. So I'd say this army is is not looking that strong at the moment. They're very good at doing damage, but they're not going to last very long. They don't have the staying power they really need. Here comes a couple of medevacs, so it's starting to look a bit stronger now. He doesn't really need the Marauders, but they probably would help. I guess the Zerg doesn't really have anything that the Marauder needs to counter though. It doesn't have Roaches yet. He's just got Banelings, Zerglings and a couple of Hydralisks coming out. So I think this army could still do pretty well using the medevacs to scout out a bit here. This is going to be a mistake if the Hydras start getting hits off on them. But there we go. The medevacs are going to move back. Not going to take too much damage. And hopefully they'll try and lead all these Zerg units into the siege tank. However, they did see a Queen or a drone or something coming down here getting hit by Siege Blast, so the Zerg is on his guard right now. He's getting 7 swarm hosts, which is going to be pretty good at tying down the siege tank. Now the Marines just run the hell out of there. See the Banelings and they just run. And the siege tanks take quite a few hits from the Banelings. He loses a couple of siege tanks, losing some Marines, but he did very well at holding that off there. The stimming and running back, a very good job, and the siege tanks took out quite a lot of Banelings and Zerglings, and the Marines took care of the rest. These swarm hosts are going to be very unlucky here, getting caught in the drop zone, but the other ones are going to get set up, and they're going to start tying these siege tanks down. These siege tanks are not going to be able to do the damage they need to do if the army engages when the swarmlings are going in, and that's exactly what the Zerg player did. It's a fantastic move, and the Terran GG's there. He didn't want to go for the long haul. He probably could have re-macroed up, got some more units, had another go at it, but he didn't feel like it, so he's going to GG, and excellent game played by our Zerg player. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Hairy Muppet, and I'm gonna go do a ladder game now. I'll see how that goes.